It's been about 3 years since I started your work. And I think a lot of the changes, just from doing the meditation since that came out, reading the material, watching the videos, has been changing me unconsciously.
Well, your frequency is adjusting. You're finding resonance with who you really are, and that means everything has to change. When your point of attraction changes, everything changes.
Well, it appears that if I remember you saying in one of the seminars that sometimes we're just being lazy. I mean, rather than I try to focus on the material more, and I try to incorporate it more in my daily activities, and then I lose it. I don't follow through. But then I find myself in situations now where I don't say anything to people anymore. I don't respond to people anymore. I used to respond, and usually it was always, people talking about somebody or something like that, or whatever the issues were. I don't respond anymore. It's like...
I do think it's because you care about your vibrational integrity, you care about your disc, and so you're not willing to sacrifice your alignment for this conversation. You're not willing to sacrifice it to be appreciated or to be liked by them or to contribute. And do you also think it's because there's less momentum, so it's less compelling? So do you find it easier and easier not to jump on that bandwagon, so to speak?
It's interesting. I can physically feel if I start to get pulled into a negative conversation or even start to think about participating in it, I can start to feel almost a sickness.
That's a wonderful thing, because that means you are really acutely aware of your vibrational resonance or lack of resonance with who you are. That's guidance at its supreme form. That's wonderful.
Yeah. It really is. But it's people say to me a lot, people who've known me for a long time, they say, you don't seem to talk very much anymore. And I used to really get caught, especially politics and all this. I don't pay attention to any of it anymore.
This is really a wonderful conversation to have here, because that means on the lower discs, first of all, there are more people to talk to. And what you actually said, we think it would be true of most everyone. Esther could say it of herself also. I've practiced longer the conversations and the momentum on the problems than I have the solutions. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you're wanting to find more words to describe this. You're wanting more words to describe that higher vibration, because that momentum will take you into those kinds of places. Poets find the words. Musicians and lyricists and people who write books. In other words, there are all kinds of people who tap in at that level, and they find plenty of things to say. You see. So it's just a matter of practicing it more.
Well, I find that if I don't have any words of encouragement, I don't have anything to say.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. At the last seminar in Philadelphia, at the end, the woman in the hot seat was really making this point. She was talking about maybe we don't need words. And we are not encouraging you to become silent, but we are encouraging you to be silent if your momentum is negative. Mm-hmm. And we are encouraging you to really chat it up when your momentum is positive. Don't you just love being with a child who is just so full of himself or herself that they just can't stop talking? Mm-hmm. Everything is just so exciting. Mm-hmm. Everything is just so brilliant and beautiful. They just want to talk about it all the time. They never want to stop talking about just how wonderful this is and how wonderful that is. Mm-hmm. And getting that sort of momentum going feels very, very good.
It does.
We're not encouraging silence, but sometimes a feeling of love and appreciation. Sometimes you just can't find enough words. Words aren't big enough to express the way you feel. And you don't have to always find words. Sometimes you can exchange more in a meaningful glance or in a touch. Sometimes you are conveying yourself in many, many different ways. Choose the vibration and then follow the inspiration.
I agree.
Esther listens back to the recordings. She hears all of them. And as she listens back to the recordings, she is intrigued and amazed and pleased, but amazed at the speed with which Abraham uses her vocabulary. And so we're having no problem finding words that match the resonance of that high-flying vibration. In other words, it's a wonderful thing to talk about the well-being of your physical planet. It's a wonderful thing to acknowledge that you were source energy before you came into these physical bodies, and that you still are, and that that larger part of you is expanding as a result of everything that you're living here. The appreciation we feel for that you are, as you are sifting through and launching these rockets of desires, as we ride your rockets of desire, and we see the intricacies with which you are expanding this time-space reality, the evolution of your species, the evolution of your planet, the evolution of your technology, the evolution of everything that you're about, the evolution of everything that you focus upon, is what we are all reveling in all the time. We never tire of giving our attention to the newest expansion that you have just found. And as Esther listens back to these recordings, she's created a program for herself so that as she listens, she can mark the track and the CD and the city and the time, the exact time that something extraordinary happened. She writes, new, first time Abraham has ever said that. Group's response to it. In other words, she never tires of finding the new nugget, willing to stand here all day, fly all around the planet, meet with those like you, listen to the brilliance of that which you are, just for one new nugget that takes you into a new place of understanding. The revolutionizing of the message, the understanding that there is no end to the ways that we can continue to express appreciation for that which you are all about. And when you get on that wavelength, when you begin to feel the fullness of who you are, when you begin to choose that vibration first and then resonate in that vibration and feel the reverberation of it, and then find others that are joining you in that. Oh, the think tanks that you come to, the political advantages that you begin to discover, the medical breakthroughs that you find, the beauty in art and poetry and music that you begin to discover. In other words, you're just barely beginning to scratch the surface of this time-space reality. There is so much more for it to give to you, you see. And as you relax into the knowledge that it is infinite and that it is never ending, and that it's not going away from you, and that you cannot go away from it, but that you have the ability to tune yourself into a frequency that will give some of it to you now and now and now and now and now, because now is all you have, isn't it? Right here, right now. That's where you are. That's where you are in conjunction, in relationship to who you really are. So when you deliberately, not lazily, but specifically choose a frequency just for the sake of choosing it, and then you hold your mind in that positive feeling place just long enough to feel the momentum get going, we're here to tell you that there is no end to that positive momentum. And you all know that at such levels of your being that that's why you get sick to your stomach when you choose a vibration that is not worthy of who you are. We think this is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you so much.